Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Varus supplementary guide, and today we're going to take a look at crit Varus. Now, the interesting thing about the on-hit item nerfs to Terminus and Wit's End is the fact that on many on-hit champions like Varus and Kai'Sa, there are these crit builds that are starting to actually come up and get popular. Just based on the fact that people think on-hit is weak. Now personally, I still think on-hit is the best build for majority of on-hit champions like Varus, like Kai'Sa. But of course, I do think these other builds are viable and have always been viable. And of course, we're going to take a look at them. Of course, I'm going to also take a look at Varus's on-hit build eventually when I get around to it. I've been playing a lot of Varus and a lot of Kai'Sa also as well for that matter. But now let's take a look at the loadout. So first up, we're going to start with the Gluttonous Greaves as usual, no surprise there for the damage and the Omni Vamp. And then first item is going to be the Hextech Stormrazor. Of course, it has a decent stat line, a little bit of attack speed, a little bit of attack damage. And of course, you get that extra bonus like burst damage auto attack that slows the target and gives you additional movement speed to chase them down as well. Now this is always going to be helpful because getting extra burst damage, being able to run after people or run away from people for that matter is always going to be good. Stormrazor is an item that of course falls off in the later part of the game because it does only a fixed amount of damage, and that damage is going to be less and less significant as the enemy team members get more and more like health and defensive statistics. So next up, we're actually going to go for Runan's Hurricane as a second item. So this is going to give us attack speed, but also going to allow us to attack 3 people at the same time. And with this, crit Varus, you are focusing a lot on auto attacks, a lot like on hit. So this actually does help you out a lot. And the Runan's bolts can actually crit as well. So this is gonna, of course, allow you to attack 3 people at the same time, and you deal damage to all of them. Stack up your blight onto all of them as well. Gives you a little bit of AD and a little bit on hit as well. Now, of course, the probably best crit item in the game, Bloodthirster. Lots of AD, physical vamp, and lots of bonus stats when you're high on health. Of course, it's a core item here. And then we of course need our armor penetration item, the Molar Minder for armor pen, as well as the Grievous Wounds. And finally, instead of going for a final crit item with with something like IE or whatnot, actually honestly it's just better to go for something like Riftmaker, right? More Omnivamp, more true damage, just overall just better stats. You could go for like IE at the last item if you want to, but myself, like a lot of other various players, like going for Riftmaker instead. For the runes, Lethal Tempo, obviously because you want the extra range as well as the attack speed. Brutal because you auto attack quite a bit. Giant Slayer generally has the highest value here, but Coup de Grace works as well. And we want Alacrity for the additional attack speed, and Bone Pitting for the defensive stats. Finally, we want to go for Flash together with Ghost majority of the time. Unless there are a lot of assassins, you can of course go for Exhaust. But with all that said, let's now move on to talking about our gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the gameplay here. Now this is going to be a very interesting game because in this game, I'm actually playing ranked as a 5-man squad. And I believe, because I don't ever remember playing ranked 5-man before. I think this is actually the first time in over 3.5 years of playing Wild Rift. I mean, I started playing Wild Rift the moment it released. I think this might actually be the first time I'm actually playing 5-man ranked. I've played like 5-man normals before, but I've never played like 5-man ranks. I believe this is the first time ever. So the main difference is that with 5-man, your macro is going to be a lot more interesting because everybody is on voice comms and things like that. So you can make macro calls a lot more easily, and you can give each other information. Like for example, in this game, the jungler is Kindred, so you can of course tell your teammates that hey, Kindred is top. Be careful, don't get ganked, or something like that. Or, Kindred used her ult, she doesn't have flash, so if she comes, you can just kill her, or things like that. So it makes things a lot more interesting. So here you can already see, we already got information that Kindred started on the top side because our mid laner got a ward in on the enemy Raptor. So we already know her clear, she started red, and she's going to Raptors now, so, yeah, 5-man is really interesting. So I'm just giving you guys this context, not because I want to get into a discussion of 5-man rank, but because I think that the context is really important as to why certain things happen, in the game that it wouldn't happen normally in solo queue. Now, is 5-man going to be a regular thing on this channel or or for myself? Nah, it's not. It's just happened that 5 people or 4 other friends that I have on my friends list happened to be online at the same time, and everybody was alright to play ranked. So that's exactly what we did. So here, I'm Varus, I have a Milio. Of course, Milio, as I said in my tier list, is basically one of the most insane supports. I think it's one of the best supports, if not the best support in the game. Like, bonus range is just a broken stat. And yeah, so we're against a Kalista Maokai, which is a really strong all-in lane. And you know, you guys have seen me play this lane myself, the Kalista Maokai lane, so we definitely want to be careful. Maokai even has first strike, so he looks like he's a little bit scary. He looks like he wants to go for some kind of bursty kind of build or something like that. So far, on my end, it's a relatively uneventful lane. All we're really doing is we're just farming it up. And the Kalista and Maokai are not really even trying very hard to engage on us or harass us very much, aside from the Maokai saplings. Speaking of which, spoke too soon, Maokai goes in. But again, nothing too much really happens, right? It's just a little bit of a small trait. You know, he pokes the Milio a little bit. And yeah. So here, the enemy team has actually reset, and here I'm actually not going to push out the wave. I'm actually just going to reset because the wave is going to stay even just based on the fact that no one has touched it. So on both the minions will die at a completely equal rate, and as such, neither myself nor the enemy team will actually lose any minions. So here you can see Zinja is actually farming the Crux, which is very, very dangerous. I'm actually telling him that the enemy bot lane is on the way back, and they know you're there, so they could actually just rotate straight to punish Xin Zhao, but they actually decide not to. They actually come straight back to lane for the farm instead. But that could have gone sideways very, very easily, especially because I'm assuming the entire enemy team is communicating as well, so they should know that Xin Zhao was there counter jungling the Krugs. So here, huge fight breaks out over the Kindred mark, which she does actually manage to get and then get out. But here, again, on our end, nothing really interesting is happening, which is fine. You know, Kalista gets outskilled completely by me. I say nothing's happening, but Maokai then ults in. Milio has to basically blow everything to keep me alive. But, you know, Varus does insane damage as well. And after Kalista got that nerf, you know, she doesn't do such insane damage no more. And here we actually pick up the double kill off of their engage. So I could see definitely what they're trying to do there. It was a pretty good play because I didn't even notice Maokai was inside the Kalista ultimate. But we are able to actually survive the onslaught with the help of Milio. I mean, Milio out healing, you know, Milio shield, Milio heals, and yeah, it's just insane. So here, we actually want to reset, but Kindred actually comes in here. So here Milio CC's Kindred, and I burst her down. She has to pop the ulti, and I'm trying my best to kill her. She manages to get the heal, and she lives on 1 HP. Now, unfortunately here, Akali and everyone is basically coming. I try to flash, but Akali actually hits me with the E before I manage to flash, and I do end up dying because of that. So a little bit of an overextension for some tower plates, and we end up getting punished by the enemy team. You know, and yeah, Kindred and Akali all come to kill us. Now Xin Zhao is just trying to hold our lane and prevent the enemy team from getting plates, which is great. So so that Kalista doesn't get too much gold out of the kills that just happened, and we still have a decent lead. Katarina is now coming in here for a gank, and we're trying to just catch up to them. Here, Xin Zhao is coming as well. Kalista is flashing away. Maokai ulti comes in, and I'm trying to hide behind Milio, but it doesn't quite work. Milio ult is able to cleanse the CC, and we're going back in. I can't believe my ult hit no one there. I thought there was going to be someone there, but anyways, we get the kills onto the enemy bot lane. So our team does have did out team fight the enemy team. And off of that, Dragon is now up. So now we are going to go ahead and go over to the Dragon and pick that one up. And Kindred is going for the Herald because number one, there's a mark on the Skull Crab there, and number two, of course, there's the Herald that's up. She does get the mark, which tells us that she's probably on the Herald. There she is with Akali as well. I don't think Xin Zhao going in there was a really good idea, but he doesn't get the steal, and he's now in a lot of trouble. Tries his best to run away, and looks like he is actually escaping with the help of the ultimate. And Urgot actually saves his life by ulting the Kindred and killing her. So here now I am on my own because Milio is now on the bot lane helping out. So here is really dangerous because Maokai could engage and tank the tower, and I could probably die under the tower. So what I'm doing here is I'm hoping that they don't do that and trying my best to clear out the wave before they do. So here you can see I'm max charging my arrow, and I'm trying to shoot them through all the minions, clearing a large chunk of minions already. One more auto to kill the last minion there, and I'm making sure they don't have minions to dive me with. And Milio is now coming back up to back me up. So now I should be safe for the most part. Now we have Milio with us. No big deal now. And here Herald gets placed in the mid lane, and no one is really there to defend the mid lane because Katarina unfortunately died. Katarina is not doing too hot at the moment. In fact, I'm basically the only one with a really huge lead on my team versus the enemy team. Everyone else is either even or behind, so it's a really interesting game for sure. And here we're gonna clear out the wave, and then Millie was telling us like, you know, hey, you know, there's plates to be taken. I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're right. So let's go over, let's take some plates. We know that Kindred is mid. So here I'm actually gonna pop the ghost just so Kalista doesn't get Maokai, sorry, doesn't get the knockup. Now here we're gonna get the ulti onto the Maokai, try to burst him down. He actually tanks up a lot of damage, and I have flash, but I'm not gonna actually flash forward to finish him off because I think my flash is very important against Akali and as well as the Riven to escape, and I don't want to really blow it, you know, for, you know, too many other reasons. Don't think a kill on Maokai is the most valuable thing to have, so we're just going to keep our flash, and we're just going to take a reset instead.
Middle turret is under attack. First turret is
So here we already have our first item, Storm Razor, so we do have that spike, and we also have the recurve bow here. So here, they're really overextended, to be very honest. So here we're trying to catch them out. Milio hits the slow. Here I'm gonna have flash to avoid the Maokai ulti, but he pushes me into tower instead. We eventually get the kill on him, but Kindred is now here, and she's popping the ulti. Akali is now coming. We get the kill onto the Kindred. Akali tries to engage, but thankfully her E doesn't actually hit any of us, so we're actually able to escape for now. We're gonna pick up the fruit and we're gonna head back into the fight to see if anything can be done. Katarina flashes in, gets the kill on Kalista, and gets the reset. Now Akali is now 4v1, and she doesn't really like those odds. She shouldn't. She's 7-0-1 at the moment, so we really want to get that shut down if we can. We actually pick up our Runans now, so teamfight power is ever increasing. And now we're going to head back to our lane, just try to push it out a little bit. Everyone is having a mini ARAM at the moment. But that's a little bit risky for my team because my team doesn't actually have any tower in mid. So here again, just using my Q to clear majority of the wave. Maokai is coming back. And I have to back off a little bit because I'm not sure if his ult is up. Because if his ult is up, he could ult from the river and, you know, catch me out from all the way over there. Now, you know Kindred is in the mid lane. We're not too sure where Akali is, so we can't really step up too far. Akali is now spotted in bot. So we know that she's not there. So now we should be relatively safe in a way. So here we're clearing the next wave, and there's a skirmish over the red buff at the bot side of the map. Now Milio is going to be taking the Hex Gate down, because I didn't really want to take the Hex Gate down because I felt it was really risky to take that particular Hex Gate, but Milio is going over to help. Turns out his help isn't actually needed because the fight basically is over before he even really gets there. But here is now me and Kalista in a 1v1. I'm really cautious here because I know that even though I'm really far ahead, there is a world where Kalista actually kills me because Kalista is still a very strong 1v1 champion and she can outplay me by dodging my ult and things like that and actually kill me, so I want to be really careful about it. The next dragon is up. Akali and Maokai are here. We want to pull the dragon out, so I'm telling everyone to pull the dragon out to ensure that it's not too easy for the enemy team to steal. And we pull it out, not all the way to the edge, but you know, at least we pull it out a little bit. And we're probably going to be able to secure the dragon. We do. And we're on Infernal Soul Point, which is pretty nice. So here, we're trying to get our lane assignments done, but what we're trying to do here is we're trying to clear out this wave, and then we're going to let Urgot take over this lane, and we're going to go mid, and while Katarina goes bot. So generally what you want to do is you always want your ADC and support to be mid lane, so that they can easily rotate to any other lane if they need to. And you want your mid laner and your top laner to be on the side lanes ideally. So this is what we're trying to do with our lane assignments. Of course, in 5-man, you know, you have additional things to consider, like how you want to assign your lanes and, you know, things like that you never really have to consider in solo queue. Because if you want to take over mid lane in solo queue and the mid laner refuses to go away, you know, then it's just too bad for you. You're either gonna have to fight for farm or someone's gonna have to give in and go to the other lane. So here again, Akali is missing and she's very fed, so we want to be a little bit cautious. Now we do have Milio with us, so I don't believe Akali can instantly one-shot us. Speaking of the devil, here is Akali. I'm trying to force this tower down. Akali ults onto me, hits the E onto me as well. And I was trying to actually counter engage there and burst her down, but unfortunately she does take a chunk of damage. However, Riven is now coming towards us, so we want to actually back off. I'm going to pick up this fruit and get myself to a little bit more of a healthy state. Akali is really, really low though, and again, we really want that shutdown. However, we don't want to play too aggressive for her. I'm not going to do anything like flash forward and try to kill her or anything like that. That's insane. Now here, there's red buff with the Kindred mark, so we definitely want to deny that. We know Kindred is going to the top side because we just seen her on the river ward. There she actually is. I'm trying to pick up the red buff share, but Riven is trying to disturb our team. So here is where the 5-man macro comes in. We spot 3 people in the top lane, and we're going for Baron because obviously the enemy team cannot really reach her. Now the issue with this Baron is not even a sneak, but the issue with this Baron is that number 1, Akali is coming in. She's gonna finally give over her shutdown to me, but the issue is that Kindred actually took the Hex Gate and actually comes in for the steal. Now we are gonna kill the Akali for the shutdown, and we are gonna kill the Kindred as well eventually, like so. However, we did end up losing the Baron, which is not very ideal, and we're also losing top lane towers because obviously the enemy team is now pushing in the top lane. So we hit our third item. So what was attempted to be a Baron, not sneak, but a Baron take because of the enemy's mispositioning all in the top lane, turns out to be a Baron leash for the enemy team, which is not very ideal. Now we're going to quickly deny the Kindred mark here onto the Wolves. Secure that. And we're going to have to prepare to defend against the Baron. Now, thankfully, we're in a pretty decent spot, at least for myself. My old team, no one is really very far behind. Everyone's just, slightly behind, but not incredibly far behind. So we're all still good. We're going to farm up the wave. Akali is coming in from the side. We want to be very, very careful of her because now she doesn't actually have a shutdown, but obviously she is still very, very fed. So we don't want to be dying to her, ideally. I'm sorry about that, excuse me. So here TX is trying to ult down. I'm not sure what he's trying to ult down. I think he's trying to ult down us. But that doesn't really do too much damage. Now here, I'm stacking my Lethal Temple on the TX for free. I get 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6 full stack Lethal Temple here. I'm just blasting them, and just look at this insane arrow. Hits the lot of them and bursts down Kalista as well as the T-Hex as well. Now Akali, I'm not sure why she's going in there, but here, we're just basically in the backline auto-attacking whoever we can. We have 3 full items at this point, and we have Runans as well. So this is an insane fight for us. Kindred is coming in from the side, and so is Riven from the other side. But it really doesn't matter. They can't really do anything here now. We're being a little bit cautious because Kindred can, of course, kill. Katarina goes down. I actually missed my Q, which would have actually just one-shot her before she could even ult. But thankfully, Urgot is going to be able to finish the job. And I nearly get killed by the minion. Thankfully, we have the Bloodthirster healing, and we're gonna need to back. Me and Urgot both are gonna need to back to clear out minions. We don't want to lose an inhib to minions or anything like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna back to reset, get our health back, and then we're gonna clear out the 2 different lanes, and then we can get Urgot to take the Hex Gate and join us at the Dragon. Of course, as I said, this is gonna be Dragon Soul for our team, so this is a pretty important Dragon fight that will happen pretty much soon. So here Urgot gets the wave cleared and is coming over with the Hex Gate. Katarina apparently is waiting in base for Death Cap. I assume Akali is honestly way too overextended. So here I'm gonna time it for the Zhonya's, and we snipe down Akali. Big problem gotten out of the way. I popped the stasis, which I picked up not too long ago because I was pretty sure that Akali would try to burst me down. So I thought I needed the stasis to save myself from the Akali. I ended up saving myself from the Riven instead, but hey, that works. And now I'm gonna actually reset to restore my health. I also pick up both of the Moment Reminder components while I'm at it, and I'm headed all the way back to the fight to see if I can stop him. So Kindred as well as Kalista are still trying to do the dragon, so we need Katarina to basically chase them away, and she actually kills both of them, and basically this means the dragon is ours for the taking, and we secure the Infernal Dragon Soul. Of course, Infernal Soul is one of the best souls in the game, if not the best soul, and from here on out, with both Kalista and Kindred dead, we're actually going to go over to the Baron. We are spotted by the enemy team, but it's fine basically. They're going to come in basically with a 3v5, which is not very ideal for them. And you know, Urgot and Katarina are basically just zoning them away from the Baron entirely, so there's no chance for them to steal. We secure the Baron, and there's no need for us to fight, so we're just going to disengage. And we're going to need someone to reset and pick up the Baron here. I'm able to pick up my Mole Reminder. Obviously, I don't want to go into the Baron because I'm 9, 1, and 7, so that would be really horrible for me to do. Midio is resetting to get into the Baron, and we're just waiting in mid for the Baron. We don't want to overextend and get picked up by the enemy team before the Baron comes, so we're just going to wait a little bit. And now we're going to stand behind the TX to ensure we don't get rooted by the Maokai. Oh, Katarina is kind of always not with us when we kind of want to fight. So here we really want to actually force. Elder Dragon is now coming up. So the enemy team is going to have to come here to basically contest the Elder Dragon unless they want to give it to us for free, which we all know is not going to be the case. So here we're going to go for the Elder Dragon. Katarina is now going to take up this position to protect against someone stealing the Elder Dragon. Now she spots Kindred, one-shots the Kindred before Kindred even has a chance to ult, and we're able to secure the Elder Dragon. In the meanwhile, we flash over, try to help out. Katarina survives and gets a triple kill. Akali is actually just trying to split push at this point, and only Akali is left alive. So at this point, Kalista respawns as well. But honestly, at this point, it should be a win right here because Kalista and Akali are not gonna have the easiest time defending against a full team of 5 with Baron and with Elder. Akali tries her best. She's going in. However, yeah, she tries to full combo me, but I'm a little bit too tanky at this point, so I'm fine. Unfortunately, though, I walk into the Nexus Tower when there's no minions there, and I end up taking a tower shot, so I do end up basically just dying there to the Akali, which is pretty unfortunate, but my team is able to finish the game, so we do get the win right here. So I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.